Hey, what's going on, beautiful jellyfish? It's Tracy. Thank you so much for taking a little bit of time in your day to hang out with me. I really appreciate it. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the upcoming 2022 Magic sets. Now, the article that I'm going to be going off of, which I will list down below, just in case you're out of the loop, just like me, because this article came out on August 28th. It is October 1st. And here we are. Why did I not know about this? Why did I not hear? Why was I not paying attention? I don't know. But anyways, we're going to be basically blindly reacting to these because I don't know anything about any of these things. So I'm really excited to do this. This is like a really I haven't looked at this really. So I'm excited to see what's going on. I gave like a little skim through, but I haven't really looked in depth. So we're going to basically just be talking about them. So let's hop into it. Let's first start talking about the first, and I'm going to be going in order of what we have. And the first is Kamegawa. We're going back to Kamegawa, which I'm really excited about. Okay, I feel like... And we'll talk about this a little bit later when we talk about a different set, but I think one of the coolest things in Magic to me is when we don't go, it takes a while to go back to a plane. I'm not a fan of oh, we went to this plane 2 or 3 years ago. To be honest with you, I think it should be minimum 4 or 5 years before we go back to a plane. I think it's too soon, and to be honest with you, it kind of feels a little lazy when we go back to these same planes that we just went back to a couple years prior. Do you know what I mean? And maybe that's not maybe I'm in the minority, maybe a lot of people don't feel that way, but I think as a Magic player, I just honestly feel I would rather there be a bigger gap. So I'm excited with going to Kamegawa that we haven't seen this in a while. I think Kamegawa is a really interesting set, and it's brought a lot of really cool cards. Some of my personal favorite cards from this set is I think this card's awesome. This is Masako, I think, the Humorless. This is such a cool card. I feel this is a really cool card. Another one that I really like is the Truth Seeker card. I don't know how to say her name, but these cards are really cool, and they're very unique to Kamegawa, very much a staple. And also Azusa Lost But Seeking was an original Kamegawa card. I'm pretty sure it was her first set. So I feel Kamegawa's offered a lot of really interesting sets and a really interesting cards. I think the thing that's really interesting and really confusing to me is the title, but then there's the what is it, the subtitle? What is that called, where it's the underneath the title, Neon Dynasty? That name is really interesting to me, and I think just even looking at these pictures, it's feels definitely a very different vibe than what the original Kamegawa is. And I don't know how I feel about that. I think it's cool. I'm just not 100% sure of the direction that that's gonna go in, but I'm excited. I'm excited to go back to Kamegawa. Yeah, cool. Okay, let's talk about the next thing, which is Streets of New Capenna. It's a mouthful of a name. Man, I like it when, sets just have one name, where it's Kamegawa, boom. It's just so much easier. Okay. Alright, so this says, it takes place in a new world, this is new, an urban city set with special significance to Elspeth. Wow. Elspeth, y'all know how I feel. The city is built by angels. What? But now run by 5 3-color demon crime family. That's so funny. Do you remember when I did my video last year? If you've been following me for a while, and it was oh my gosh, what was even oh, it was when I was talking about Strixhaven, and I was laughing at the description. This is how I feel about the description. That part is hilarious. By 3 5-color demon crime families. Demon crime families. Why is that hilarious to me? Anyone else find this funny? Featuring their own keyword and gameplay style. This sounds awesome. This sounds so cool. I like it. This feels very much like a really classic, angels versus demons, sort of thing. And, we've definitely, seen that before, but, I'm really excited. I'm always really excited when we print new angels. One thing I would say is my hope for this set, and I talked about this recently in a video, is I feel what a lot of sets feel they've come to, and I think core sets especially are really, guilty of this, is the fact that they will come out with one angel bomb that's 7, 8, 9 mana, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think one of the things in my angel tribal deck that I try to do is balance that out. A lot of my lower CMC stuff is mana rocks and mana acceleration. A lot of my angels don't start out the minimum cost is 4, and even so there's not many. So I would say my big push is getting some of those cheaper angels, Archangel of Ties, for example, as cards like that to kind of help with those lower CMC CMC stuff because I feel like we have so many angel bombs, but I'm kind of like, can we have just like little cutesy angels like a 2/3? You know what I mean? Like, I think there's just kind of this thing where it's like, and I get it, it makes like logical sense, but I don't know, you can have like an angel, you know what I mean? Just like smaller CMCs I feel like would really help. So, okay. Transitioning into Dominaria United. So basically, this is kind of like the opposite, I would say, about, or not the opposite, but kind of what I was saying earlier about Kamegawa. I feel like it's been a while. I feel like we were just in Dominaria. There's nothing wrong with Dominaria. I think Dominaria was a great set, but I feel like we were kind of like just there. Okay, I need to pause this and literally look at the year because I feel like this might have been 4 years ago and I might just be like, uno momento, por favor. Okay, so in fact, we did go to Dominaria in 2018, which means that in 2022, it will technically be 4 years. Sorry, I feel like Dominaria just came out in, like, yesterday, but apparently it has been. It just feels like it's recent. Okay, I think I'm gonna, like, add on to what I said earlier. I would say minimum 5 years for a set. I feel like we were just in Dominaria. Again, nothing wrong with that. I think Dominaria was an incredibly good set. I just feel like we're just there. You know what I mean? Cool. Okay, so this says the release of Dominaria United will fittingly, why does that sounds really weird. Okay, celebrate Magic the Gathering's 30th anniversary. Cool. As a fan favorite world, gosh, absolutely. They kicked off one of Magic's greatest stories in high fantasy settings. I think Dominaria is such a staple plane, and it's interesting because I think it's like, I think with a lot of sets that are like older, like those core older sets, do you know what I mean? I think Dominaria really interestingly like captivated a lot of people. And I remember Paul drafted like a ton of Dominaria and like did a lot of Dominaria events when it came out. Dominaria is an incredibly good set, incredibly well detailed, incredibly thoughtful. So I'm really excited to see this as a set. Just kind of like what I was saying. I just feel like we were just there. I kind of wish there was more of a gap. I kind of feel like I wish we were going back to Dominaria like either in like 2023 or like 2024 and beyond. You know what I mean? Cool. Okay. The last like core product set, I don't know what to call that. The Brothers War? Like, I don't know what these main standard legal sets, whatever, is the Brothers War. Okay. The story continues in Dominaria. Okay, so this is kind of like a two-parter thing. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. With the Brothers' War, where Magic's famous brothers, Urza and Mishra, are returning to settle the score. Okay. That's fine. What started as a feud between the two powerful brothers erupted into an all-out war that set into motion, and the future of the plane and multi-universe itself. Through the tens of Dominaria locations, characters, and victims of the conflict, we'll see a plane-spinning conflict escalate with artifacts, giant mechs, and beyond. I don't really care about this from this description and from these pictures, because I feel like I'm just like, artifacts are just so whatever to me. Like, I think I just don't really care. Do you know what I mean? I feel like giant mechs, like, I don't know. I just don't feel like the vibe of the set. I'm not really vibing with this a lot. I don't know. And I'm confused because is this like, are they doing the same thing with like Innistrad with like what they did this year where they split it into like two? Is that kind of like what they're doing? I don't know. I'm really confused by this. Because I think like, I guess the reason why I'm confused is because with Innistrad, they both called it Innistrad, but they each had like their own subheading. Is that what it's called? They each had like that. This is like Dominaria and the Brothers War, like they're different titles. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't know. I'm confused by this. I don't think I really care about this from what I'm vibing with in this, but, you know, here we are. It is what it is, and who knows? Maybe it'll be great. I feel like I'm happy to be proven wrong, you know? Happy to be proven wrong. Okay, let's talk about supplementary sets. So the first is, it's called Innistrad Double Feature, and the first thing that came to my mind is Rocky Horror Picture Show Double Feature. Gosh, I love Rocky Horror Picture Show. Anyone else? Very fitting for Halloween. Also, this is interesting, though, because it says early 2021, and I'm like, this is an October release. Like, why is this gonna come out in, like, February or something? Why does this come out in October? Why don't they swap this for something else? Do you know what I mean? I'm just confused by this. So it says it combines curated cards from Innistrad Midnight Hunt and Innistrad Crimson Vow to create a unique draft experience featuring special theatrical horror movie art treatment on every card. So this is cool. Like, I think this is a really cool idea. It kind of, what this product actually kind of reminds me of is, it reminds me of like a giant secret lair project. Do you know what I mean? This feels like they wanted to do, it's like they started out this project as like secret lair, like, oh, we're going to release stuff from like Innistrad. And like, oh my gosh, but what if we did like every card? It's like so crazy that they're like every card. Like, what? I don't know. I don't think this is every card. That seems a little crazy. I don't know. Maybe they are doing that. I have no idea. But this seems really interesting. I think this is a really cool thing. And I think this is a really cool idea. I just don't think the timing of this makes sense. Like, I just think this is just such an October release. I don't know why they're releasing it in the first quarter. That's very confusing. Okay. Unfinity. I don't care about this at all. I think unsets are ridiculous. And not ridiculous. This isn't like, oh, that's insane. I love that. No, like, I think unsets are dumb and a waste of time, and that's all I'm going to say. The only good part about unsets are, like, the flirt lands. Done. Moving on. Okay. Commander Legends. Battle for Baldur's Gate. Okay, let's read this description. Focusing on the city of Baldur's Gate and building on the Commander, first gameplay of 2019 Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate brings in iconic characters, new mechanics, more flavorful spells from D&D, plus Commander Legends style foil-edged legendary creatures, all packed in an even greater social experiences. Okay, so quick little story time. My oldest brother is a huge fan and grew up with the original 1 and 2 Baldur's Gate games. And basically, when the company that I'm blanking on the name of, who created Divinity 2 Original Sin, which if you have not played that game, you are missing out, and you need to go, like, pause this video and go download that game right now. Because Divinity 2 Original Sin is one of the best games I have ever played. It's an amazing multiplayer game, and you need to go play it. Absolutely. So basically, when Baldur's Gate 3 was announced, it's done by the same people who did Divinity 2 Original Sin, which is just arguably one of the best multiplayer games ever. And I was like so hyped about it. I was telling my older brother, I was like, you need to check this out. Like, I know you love 1 and 2. So anyways, I'm really excited about this for 2 reasons. First off, Baldur's Gate. And we did do the early access, and we did play it, and it is beautiful, and it is so cool. And you can clearly tell that it's done by the same people. Like, there's a lot of similarities. And I'm excited about this as well because I love Commander Legends. I think Commander Legends is such a creative and just like, the product just makes sense. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I think Commander Legends just really is like the perfect product. It's a spot where you can just print a bunch of Commander staples in foil, and just for people like me, it's just like a perfect product. Like, I think they did Commander's Legends in a perfect way, and I'm so excited to see this because it's tied to Baldur's Gate as well, which I'm just so incredibly excited about. I think this is going to be really awesome, and yeah, I'm really excited about this. So, yes. It's going to be so cool. Yeah. Okay. Let's go into Double Masters. This is Double Masters 2022. So, it says, Double Masters will also come with 2 foil cards and 2 rare mythic cards in each draft booster with even more powerful reprints and a multicolor draft focus. Okay, this is really cool. I'm really glad that I read that description as well. I'm really excited about Double Masters. I thought Double Masters was really cool. I think the Master sets in general are really great. I love the fact that they get a chance to reprint cards, and I think that's awesome. And I like the concept of Double Masters too, because it's like, oh, it's like you have 2 cards and everything is like double. Like, I don't know, I just think it's like a really cool thing. I'm also excited too about the multicolor focus, because I feel like a lot of times, like, monocolored, dual colored kind of get all the attention, and like tricolor like doesn't. When I hear multicolored, I don't know, I just hear like 3 colors, 4, 5 colors. Like, I feel like those things are so rich, which is one reason why I just love like Alara, like, plane. Love that plane. Want to go back there so bad. Like, that'd be a perfect plane to go back to. And I think one thing that was so unique about that was like the concept of just like going with all these multicolored stuff. I thought it was so cool. So I think this sounds really cool. I'm very excited about this, and I'm really excited to see what cards they reprint. Yeah. And the last thing we're going to talk about is Jumpstart 2022. And this says, comes with a new to Magic card in every pack, dozens of themes to mix and match for fun, with plenty of reprints. I think Jumpstart is fine. I thought that the first Jumpstart had a lot of really great cards in it. I didn't think there was anything wrong with the set. My only thing that I did not like about the set was that there were no foils. That's like a me problem, though. That's not really a problem for anyone else. I guess the thing that I feel about Jumpstart is Jumpstart reminds me actually a lot of Commander Legends, because it's like it's like obviously with Commander Legends it's a focus on Commander, obviously. And this is kind of more of like a general focus. Not to say that there aren't cards that are useful in Commander, because there definitely can be, but it's kind of more of like a set, you know, multiple sets that or multiple, like, you know, multiple formats that it's trying to hit. And I think this is a really cool, like, beginner, like, type of set, you know what I mean? And I think that's cool. I would say, like, what I wish Jumpstart was instead, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with a beginner type of set, just to be extremely clear. I think that's a great idea. I would say the bigger thing that I feel like I'm missing, and what I wish Jumpstart was actually just a core set. I've always just really been a fan of core sets, and when they announced that they were going away with core sets, I got like really bummed and really sad, and then they brought them back, and now it seems like they're not doing them anymore. And I kind of just, or maybe they're doing them every 2 years. Honestly, y'all, I can't keep up. I don't know what's going on anymore. It's just, I feel like everything is just like changing and whatnot. And I think the really awesome thing about core sets was, well, a couple of things. First off, it was a really great like beginner friendly type of environment, because a lot of the cards that they either that were reprints or that were newer were like more easier cards. Like there weren't new mechanics. Usually it was more of like, okay, like this bird that's a 1/3 that is flying. It was like cards like that. And then you got some really cool reprints in there as well, which was awesome. And then they just stopped doing that for whatever reason. I'm not 100% sure why. I feel like core sets are not really like a fan favorite. I don't know. That's kind of like the impression that I get. But I kind of just, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, I understand the point of Jumpstart. It's kind of like, why can't this be a core set? I guess is kind of like what I'm trying to say. But I wonder if, because this is a supplementary product and a core set would be a main product and like a draft product, and that would like mess up their whole like wanting to do 4 sets for like main sets, you know. I don't know. That's kind of like my thing. So yes. So anyways, so yeah, those are all my thoughts about the 2022 release schedule. I would really love to know what you guys are thinking, what things you're excited about, what things you're just kind of whatever about. This is just the general overview. So I believe we only talked about the main sets and then the supplementary, but this doesn't include, like, I don't know if they're going to be doing like, this doesn't include things like Secret Lair, and like if they're doing any of like those pre-con commander decks or anything like that. That doesn't include that. If they do announce those things, I might do a separate video on them, but I think it's just really fun to just kind of like, you know, chat about all this stuff. But yeah, that's everything in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you in my next one.